Well, you know it's time for Unicorn's Love when that man's voice comes
He's
up.
back, by the way.
But we're now into picks and bans. We're going to have to see if Unicorns of Love want to give him the same power to carry a game or if he will be shifted to a different role. But bans, nothing too surprising quite yet. Rise.
It's only been
up.
one ban, though.
But that's not surprising
It's
yet,
not,
is
you,
it?
You
all
are
right?
correct.
All right?
You are 100% correct. Not too surprising either. LeBlanc, we know Rengar and Camille are the other two picks we look at on red side. I think maybe later on in the split we will see teams try and leave some of them open and try and counterpick them. But for now, red side is kind of locked when it comes to the bans, and that's why teams favor these blue sides, because again they can go for some of these target bans, like a Rumble.
You lose a little bit more flexibility as you move forward into the
Exactly.
draft. Red side has a lot of creativity given that they get the final pick in phase 1 and the first and last ban in the second ban phase. But Rumble taken off the board as well, and Vitality using those target bans to good effect.
Yeah, and you see a new coach behind Vitality. I think it's fair to highlight here in the pick and ban phase specifically. Sean is no longer the coach for the team. Irian instead, coming over from actually the LMS. He was a former pro AD carry in Korea for Senex Storm, then became an analyst for Saigon Jokers in the LMS, and later on a coach for them as well. Actually not in the LMS,
GPL.
The Vietnamese is for GPL, mixing the two up here. So from GPL, where he was a coach for Saigon Jokers, and he's now with Vitality and is taking that head coach role. So let's see what he can do in this pick and ban phase.
Interesting so far. He's taking a different
Adaptation.
strategy.
Camilla Rengar is going to be open.
I'm ready.
both.
Maybe both.
At this point, if you're Unicorns, you leave both open. And you say, okay, Vitality, you get one, we get one, plus an additional pick in the first pick phase
and
for red side.
This is so interesting too because we very rare, like Rumble and Shen have both seen a decent number of bans, but never in the first ban phase. They always come so much later. So Vitality are kind of playing with fire. They're the first team to risk leaving these things up.
Yeah, and oh, they actually banned Camille, so they give away a free Rengar pick for Vitality. This clearly means they have something prepared against it. Otherwise, there's zero reason to do it just to ban a Syndra from Nuke Dog. Because normally you do not need to start banning out picks like Syndra in a game 1. You just very often play it safe, you know, just remove the OPs.
Well, let's see what
it is.
If Rengar's locked in, let's talk about it. The reason Rengar is so strong right now, first off, you played against him, you know he does a ton of damage, but with that empowered roar, he can become CC immune. He can leap in, he can kill someone, he can get right back out. It is the most frustrating champion to play against. But speaking of frustrating champions to play against, Poppy coming right in.
That's a very early Poppy. Now an Ivern as well. Man,
okay, all right.
I know it's Unicorns of Love,
Yep.
but like ignore everything you guys have seen in the LPL, in LCK, and in Europe so far when it comes to pick and ban phase. Forget all of it, because Unicorns are just changing everything.
I mean, I'm excited for Ivern. I said yesterday, Ivern, B-tier champion. Daisy, S-tier, high quality.
S-tier. Okay, I'm still surprised they actually want to play this specifically against Rengar, but if you do think about like the protection Ivern brings with Locket, Trigger Seed, and Redemption to stop, you know, Rengar from getting into backline and assassinate someone, but I'm not sold yet. I want to see it in game. I think it is very risky what Unicorns are doing. I don't even know why they're picking Poppy this early.
It's only week 1, and they're already breaking the playbook, and it's very. I don't know what to expect here because Vitality, this is like the textbook OP picks on this patch.
Yeah.
Unicorns are doing something completely new, and I respect it, don't get me wrong, but Vitality are getting every pick that has been described as broken on this patch.
I do want to see Zyra here, though, from the Unicorns of Love. I think Zyra actually is really good against Malzahar. MF is another option, but Zyra is just the S-tier support. And if they don't pick it, then suddenly it's gonna... Okay, actually, never mind. What they're doing here, they're going for the Malzahar counter. A pick that works because when Lulu auto-attacks, her passive, the Pixie fires 3 bolts, and they actually one-shot the Voidling because it has 3 HP. Still, while I like it as a counter pick, Zyra is just that much better. And Lulu is normally because Zyra is then removed, and then Malzahar gets picked, and then you can go something like Lulu. But it's fair. It's fine.
Here's the thing I see. There's a ton of protection up on the side of Unicorns of Love as we enter ban phase 2. Keep your eyes on phase 2 to see what's going to be taken off. It's Ashe and Maokai so far. There's a lot of shielding. There's a lot of protection here on this Unicorns lineup. Is there a way we get a hyper carry sort of team comp? Who is going to be the benefactor of all this shield?
There is definitely a chance we can see something like a Jinx maybe being protected by everything, because the Poppy early pick is still the one that really stands out the most. Like Ivern we can understand, Lulu we can understand against Malzahar and Rengar, but the Poppy, clearly they want the ulti as well for additional disengage. Maokai is being banned away by Unicorns. They don't want to have that tank war up in the top lane where Maokai, at the moment, is considered the stronger of the two.
Now, Jay's taken off the board as well, but Fiora is a pick we have seen banned out a decent amount of times. Is still up. Varus, Ashe is disabled. These are the two primary champions. Ezreal feels like the safe pick.
Caitlyn, give me Caitlyn. I'm glad I just got to say it there. Caitlyn Lulu. That is that is an old school bully lane that is still very obnoxious to deal with, especially for Malzahar, because he can't get his Voidlings going.
I like you say old school. Old school, like back before people realized Lulu was a viable solo laner. Old school, like when Lulu was released.
Think back to like SK Gaming with N-rated and Forgiven in the bot lane. It was like Kate.
That was the N-rated champ, man.
Every
he
game.
Loved that Lulu. Of course, now it's going to be the Nautilus locked in as well. We can be pretty sure that one is going into the top lane. Not quite the carry that we may expect from Cabba, but also happy to play tanks in a decent number of circumstances. And will make it very easy for that Rengar to get set up into that top side if they do want to shift their pressure up there as well. And Nukeduck going to go for the Taliyah. He's been playing it a ton in solo queue and decides to lock it in here.
Yeah, also a pick that we like more and more, and we see more and more after she got a small buff. Works really well in the mid lane at staying neutral in most lanes, and then simply using that ulti to move to side lanes very, very quickly. Orianna is a perfectly fine pick against it. This is something we were looking at. We were looking at the solo queue accounts, and we saw this Kassadin bad boy.
We have comps locked in, but just for some background information, me and Deficio looked through all of the solo queue records. Are like, there's no way he's going to play this. There's no way he's going to play that. Everything we said they wouldn't play, they're playing now on your screen. It's Kassadin. It's the Lulu support to answer the Malzahar. Unicorns of Love continue to mix it up here. And what is the strength of this composition? What are Unicorns looking to do?
Well, first of all, they have a ton of shielding and protection for Caitlyn. So if Rengar wants to try and assassinate anything, he can't really do that. Malzahar, yes, will be obnoxious until you get your QSS on the Cait, but the Kassadin is here because Unicorns can play all three lanes. Poppy outscales the Nautilus. Kassadin outscales the Taliyah in a side lane for sure. And they're trying just to be as surprising as possible and really take this game plan of Vitality and just throw it out the window.
I mean, what game plan can they have? They took everything that was powerful. They have to have gotten everything they never dreamed to get, even in scrims. Now we're going to have to see what they can do with all that raw power. If the ingenuity of Unicorns of Love is going to be enough here.
And it's such a classic Unicorn strategy. Let's give them Rengar, and then we have Iron Lulu as our response to it. Obviously, Lulu also because of the Malzahar.
Yeah. I mean, it's the quintessential
You have
moment.
to love it. You'd have to love it.
You have to love it. I mean, there's plenty. The Love Hurts crew is here. Happy to support the Unicorns of Love. Personally, I'm really excited to see how the Lulu Ivern interacts, but also Rengar is really hype in his own way.
Oh, for sure.
Even if not incredibly fun to play against, always hype to watch him dominate. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to get into our first game. Unicorns of Love versus Vitality. The first time you've seen these new rosters. The first time you've seen these new lineups. And they're headed on to the Rift.
Rengar so far, 4-0 in the LCK. He's done really, really well. Not really too surprising.
No, not at all. Done very well in solo queue as well when he somehow makes it through the bans.
Definitely.
But let's talk early game. What are the goals here for Unicorns of Love? Because it feels to me if that Rengar gets any kills at all, he's going to be nigh impossible to deal with.
I mean, for Unicorns of Love, the strong lane to look at is the bot lane. It's the Kate Lulu, Lulu's specific counter pick against Malzahar, as we highlighted in the ban phase, because you're passive from Lulu, one-shots to Voidling from Malzahar. So it's a pushing lane that can win the trades. Mid lane, Kassadin as always, he wants to get his level 6, so you're not really going to play too much around that lane. Top lane with Poppy, same deal. One thing you can do though with Ivern is you can actually set up the Kassadin even pre-6 to get to his target when you do gank. But it is very risky because Ivern's pre-level 6 skirmish is obviously not fantastic. You don't really offer a whole lot of damage. So I think Unicorns are going to be happy playing aggressive on bottom side and then just wait for Exile to farm up and then put him in the side lane later to have this 1-3-1.
Ward is going to get taken out here. Vitality already making some moves on the bottom side. You saw Vision going down onto the jungle clear from Cersei. Not going to quite get it. Unfortunately, was not able to one-shot the Void Lane before it got to spawn a few more. Hylissang doing his best to clear those out. Will pick up a little bit of extra gold. And Hachani learning very quickly why the Lulu was picked into this matchup.
I'm sure Chani knows. He's obviously a very smart player who's been around for many, many years. Come over from LCK, where not only was he a player on KT, who made it all the way to the final here in 2016, he also used to be a coach just before for Rebels Anarchy. So Chani's definitely tried a lot of different things, and it's one of the things Vitality highlight about him, like his game knowledge is fantastic, his communication in game, and he had a very good summer split if we look back to 2016 as well. So not exactly a weak player we're dealing with here.
Absolutely not. Of course, one of the first guys to really bring out the Taric into competitive play after the rework. Beautiful use of the ultimate time and time again. And officially, I want to talk a little bit about the mid lane match. Of course, Exile's going to wait for level 6. He wants to be that big split pushing threat. But what are we expecting from this Taliyah? Because we have not seen these two champions match up each other yet.
No, I mean, Taliyah obviously will get the early shove because Kassadin doesn't really have a way to push it back, and very easy for Taliyah to push it in, and you want to see if you can deny some CS. But there is no kill pressure for Nukeduck right now against Exile with Potion, Dark Steel to make the Potions even stronger. Exile is okay falling behind and just wants level 6, and then it can become difficult for Taliyah because Kassadin can just jump her, and as long as you maneuver instantly, like move to the side as soon as you jump her, it's very easy to dodge around the knockback as well from Nukeduck. So Nukeduck is in a good spot at the moment, but later on it becomes a lot harder.
Making some aggressive trades here, trying to maintain control of the mid lane, and has sizable CS advantage as well. But once again, not going to mean much unless he can keep that lead and continue to grow it. Top lane continues to be a tank fight. Ivern continues to farm up, but really it's Rengar we have to keep our eyes on.
Top lane Dracos. This is where you're going to see the insane Ivern puppy damage.
Ixachi setting up for the knockback. There goes the trigger seed. Cabo starting to move it out, saving the hook, waiting till he can hook under the tower. Cabo knocked back, decent damage coming in. Are they going to be able to grab it? First blood down to the Ivern.
Almost too easy. Cabo shot pushing up. Guys, look down here at his items. The ward is ready from his trinket, but he didn't place it yet. So Ivern just walked in freely and managed to pick up first blood.
Just a slow and steady kill. It has to be frustrating to start off your top lane like that. Nautilus should still be able to push a decent amount, but has to be careful. Cabo is already back in the top lane. Unicorns love. Solid debut from their new jungler. Picking up the Dark Seal as well. Almost insult to injury.
I actually like that a lot because I think you can go Soul Stealer later on Ivern. Because most of the time you are not like sitting in the front line with the champion. It's obviously Daisy sitting in the front line for you. So you can actually stay pretty safe in most fights, and then you start stacking that extra AP from Soul Stealer. So I like that pickup, but man, Copper shot. Basic mistake. Like you are way past level 3 and level 4 for junglers, and you haven't placed a ward. Obviously, you're gonna get ganked in and punished when you're pushing and pushing and pushing.
Well, they have now responded to it. Vitality placing a ton of vision on the top side of the map, and it could be Exile who's caught out next. Joko looking for that opportunity in the mid lane to gank, but Vitality updating as they go. They are now putting vision on the top side.
And there's going to be another opening now. We talked about Nukeduck before, but let's see the action-packed gank. Puts in trigger seed.
Look at the damage.
He has the red buff though, that is the important thing. But honestly, this just comes down to overextended top laner with no vision. We've seen it in solo queue. We even see it in professional play.
Yeah, this is one of the big strengths, of course, of Ivern, is he can clear relatively quickly with smite charges up. So you saw a level 4 Ivern against a level 3 Nautilus on the top side.
Ivern has one of the fastest clears to level 4 if he just stays in his own jungle and doesn't actually go for any shenanigans and wants to be really annoying level 1, level 2. And if he just fully clears his own jungle and then ganks, it can surprise some people. But as we talked about with Nukeduck before here, there's going to be that window where Exile is not feeling strong enough to go side lane, where Nukeduck does have his ulti. And that's where Vitality can use him to push in mid and then send him to the bottom side or the top side, depending on where they want to try and set up a dive. But there is teleport for Unicorns of Love in the mid lane.
Samix taking a ton of damage. No